welcome to the Motivation Station. It's me, Miss Trabal, and I have a special guest here. Malia, say hi.
Hi.
And she's a second grader just like you guys. And so she's going to join us for our second grade math lesson. Sometimes you hear her voice in the background. Now she's going to actually do our lesson because we might be able to get to something at the end that she can help us with. So before we do that, let's get started. We've been working on telling and writing time. And again, we're going to continue that because your learning goal is students, that's you, will be able to work with time. You're going to be able to work with time. And you should be able to tell time to the hour, the half hour, and the nearest 5 minutes. Now, there's some words that we need to know, and those are words that we've been talking about throughout the lessons that we've been doing together. So one word to know is, what word is this?
Clock.
Clock, and we use two different types of clocks. We use an analog clock and
A digital clock.
digital clock. And our analog clock, remember, is our circular clock friend with our numbers that go around. And our digital clock is the one that we see sometimes on a watch or on our phone, and it's just the numbers written out digitally. We have hours, minutes, half past, quarter till, and quarter after. And these are all words that as you're talking about time and you're writing time and working with time, you want to try to use some of these words in your vocabulary, in the conversations that you use about time. So as we're looking at this, let's think. When we left off last, I asked you to write a schedule. And I said writing a schedule will help you to practice time because when you write your schedule, you write the times. So Malia has a schedule that she uses, and we're going to start to write some of those just so you get an idea of what I mean to write times. So first thing in the morning. Malia, what do you do first thing in the morning?
I wake up.
She wakes up. So that's number one. Wake up. And that happens at a certain time. What time do you wake up?
7:45.
7:45. She said 7:45 a.m. because she knows that a.m. is morning. That's not afternoon, that's morning time from about midnight while we're still sleeping all the way to when we wake up and almost around lunchtime. All of those times are a.m. So after you wake up, I notice you normally brush your teeth, you take a shower, you get dressed. What do we want to call all those things?
Get ready.
Get ready. I like that. So we get ready for our day. And around what time do you start to get ready for your day?
Around 8 o'clock a.m.
Around 8 o'clock a.m. Guys, that means probably like you, she's hit snooze a few times and she's trying to get herself up to get moving. So 8 a.m. she gets ready. Then we'll say eating breakfast. All of those things are happening in this 8 o'clock time, and it's gonna keep going for a little bit, maybe a little bit less than an hour. So then she starts school. And right now we know our schooling is on the computers or like you're watching now on the TVs, but sometimes normally we go to school, so we get on our bus. But for now, let's talk about what we're doing. So she gets on the computer and starts school. What time do you do that?
8:50.
8:50, she has her morning meeting with her teacher and all her school friends. And is that still a.m. or is that now p.m.?
A.m.
a.m. So 8:50 a.m. Then we're gonna go through our day. She does her classes, maybe does a little bit of math, some reading, some science, a couple of things in the morning time. And then we'll say she gets to lunchtime. She's worked up an appetite doing all her schooling. What time do we eat lunch around?
Around 12:15 p.m.
Around 12:15 p.m. And I wonder why she changed from a.m. to p.m. I think because we said afternoon turns into p.m. times because that's the next 12-hour cycle in our 24-hour day. So we're at 12:15 p.m. Then maybe she'll go outside for some recess or some activity, a brain break. Maybe she'll do a little bit more work, but there's lots of other times that she does things and ends school and does her evening routine. So I want to encourage you again to get with your parents or older sibling and write out a schedule, because remember, our goal is not only to tell time, but to be able to write time. And I think we did a good job of writing our times here. Even though they're written in the digital format, like we would see on a digital clock, we've still written them. For a challenge, maybe you can have somebody draw clocks. Maybe you can even draw clocks on the side and practice writing them like you would see them on an analog clock. If we take, let's say, her wake-up time, for example, 7:45, what should that look like on our analog clock? We know that the hour is 7, and remember our minute hand, there's no 45 on our clock that we can see, but we can count by 2s, 10s, 1s. What can we count by?
5.
We can count by 5s until we get to 45. So we're gonna say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and we are now at 7:45. Notice our hour hand is after the 7, but it's close to the 8, but not quite yet 8. So it's 7:45. Think about our vocabulary. Remember we said half past, quarter after, quarter till. A quarter is 15 minutes. So if I know that a quarter till is 15 minutes, we could also say this time is a quarter till 8. Because once I go a quarter turn more around my clock, I'll be at 8 o'clock. So she wakes up at 7:45 a.m. or she could say a quarter to 8. Now, let's take a look at a couple of what time is it? Questions. We're going to use these questions to practice a little. All right, let's see if I can get close enough to show you. So what time is it? You guys ready to play? Okay, your first question is complete the sentence. The time is blank o'clock. Take a look at your clock. If you can't see it, get close to me so you can see it. Malia, did you see the clock? Do you know what time it is?
I think that
Hold on. Are our friends thinking? Thinking caps? Look at that hour hand. See if you can guess it before Malia. What time is it?
I think it's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. I hope you guys said that too. If you did, kiss your brains because you are correct. Kiss your brain. Oh yeah, let's try another one. Ooh, this is multiple choice. What time is shown on the clock? What time is shown on this clock? Look at your hour hand. Look at your minute hand. A, 4:15, B, 3:30, C, 2:20, or D, 5:30. Are you thinking? Is your sibling or your parents thinking too? Can you get it before them? If you said D, 5:30, you are correct. Let's try. Ooh, tricky one. I don't think I can trick you all. What number is the minute hand pointing to at 2:45? What number is the minute hand pointing to at 2:45? Remember, the minute hand is our longer one, and we have to think about our time and counting by 5s. We know our hour hand is on 2. Our minute hand should be on
9.
9. So our minute hand would be on 9, and that's how we know it is 2:45. Ooh. Yes. Okay. What time does this clock show? What time does this clock show? 3:50, B, 10:15, C, 3:10, or D, 10:30? If you said A, 3:50, you are correct because our hour hand is not quite on the 3, but it's also not quite on the 4. It's kind of in the center, closer to the 4. So we are at 3:50 in our minute, because our minute hand is at the 10. Okay, boys and girls. So what I would love for you guys to do, because our time is almost up, is remember, write your schedule, and then also see if you can make a paper clock at home. There's a couple materials you can use to help you with that. You could use construction paper, or white paper is fine, doesn't have to be colored, whatever kind of paper you have at home. If you don't have construction paper, Malia had a paper plate here. You can use that also. You might need some scissors if you're using paper. She's got her safety scissors there, so she can cut out her circle. How's she gonna draw a circle? What are we gonna use? Well, to draw the circle, we need markers or pencils, and we might need something to trace. Maybe you have a big bowl, and you can use the lid, or the top part of the bowl if it's circular. What else could we use? If in your pantry you can find a big canister that is round or circular at the lid, you could use that. Or Malia found her Halloween basket, and look at the top. It's round or circular and perfect for tracing a circle. So those are some of the things you can use to trace your circle. You're gonna trace your circle, cut it out, or if you're using a paper plate, that's fine. Draw your numbers. Remember to start at 1. Sometimes, since we know that 12 is at the top, it may be helpful just to put the point at put 12 right at the top, but then you're going to start on your sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remember, make sure 12 is at the top, 6 is at the bottom, but all your numbers are going in order. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So draw your numbers around your plate, or around your plate, or around your paper. And then maybe you could cut out some hands. I cut out a long arrow and a short arrow to represent my hands that I can put on my clock. And I had a push pin here, or you can use a brad, or you could even just put your pencil right on top so that that could hold your hands to the clock. So many different options. Can you guys get creative? Try to get as creative as you can with making your paper clock, and the next time we see you, we'll show you our paper clock. And remember to keep practicing that time the best you can. We will see you soon with another lesson. Bye!